welcome. New Mets Podcast, episode 153. I've had about a week of patch 7.30. Some pro games, some pub games, and a lot of good fun, a lot of good new stuff, fun things, new friends. Marco, Adam, welcome to the podcast, as always. Marco, the week 7.30. How have you been? How's Dota been?
Yeah, hello. It's been finally got back to the games, to be honest. 7.30 has coincided with higher frequency, and I feel like there's a few people that have probably felt the same. Keen to get back in with a new patch. I don't actually think it's that different. It's just, I think there's been a slight mix of what is meta, what is not in terms of heroes, but the game and gameplay and core objectives, etc. It feels very same, but it's nice to see lots of new heroes and have new experimentation. So it's been like I think 4 wins, 4 losses, pretty even. 4 wins, 5 losses, so actually not even. It's been a terrible patch.
Where's 7.31?
Where's the next patch?
That's something we'll get into, I suppose, in the pod about what's changed and what's not, because I feel the same way as you in terms of the game feels similar, but some of the heroes have been mixed up a bit, I think. But yeah. Adam, welcome as well. How are you? How's Dota been for you?
Looks like I've played 30 matches.
Wow.
Of the new patch. What a sample size.
Yeah, you're the expert.
I wouldn't say that. No, I've been playing it. I don't know if I'd say I'm enjoying it, but I've been playing it. I've been playing it a lot more than the last patch near the end. Just because it's something new, but I've already grown frustrated with certain things.
It took you about 2 games to get sick of Conquer.
Yeah.
It took me 1 game to get sick of Conquer, I think. And Silver Edge in general.
I've not been privy to the
Tinker.
Silver.
Yeah, Silver Edge is a bunch of corn. I will say that. Yeah, no more Tinkers. I had like 7 out of 8 games, my first games with Tinker, and that's fallen off completely, which is nice. But it's still just Helm of the Overlord.
Yeah. I've played
Strat.
Quite a few games. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I played 11 games. I think I'm 5 losses, 6 wins, so that's a pog. My versatility is 9.89 currently on my profile, which is unheard of for me, because usually I don't mind getting the same hero out in multiple games, but I've been flying all over the shop, especially in 7.30, yet to repeat a hero, which I suppose is quite natural, only played 11 games. But yeah, got on some of the classics, got on the TA, Centaur, Underlord, OD, which it feels weird that OD is a classic because it doesn't feel like it, but the numbers tell me that it is, Necro. And then some unfamiliar faces as well, like Chen and Magnus, I suppose. But yeah, having some good fun. We mentioned the patch and how it hasn't changed too much, but the heroes are maybe a bit different. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that briefly, like a patch overview, like a few minutes, and then we'll get into some game specifics that if anyone wants to bring them up.
My view is really that the changes, albeit it sounds like a big patch, 7.30, and I think the legacy players with the like 7.00 and the 10, the decimal 10 feels like a big number, but actually it's almost like it could have been 7.31. I've personally put more value on it because it was around 30, which is naive of me. So it's really just kind of a mundane patch, and there's loads of changes, but all just minor tweaks, and it just shuffles the order of who's strong, who's not, and fundamentally, nothing crazy's changed, like no mechanics. I feel like often in a big patch after quite a while, you might see something fairly fundamentally different, be it like jungle XP or something like this, or a shrine or a tower buff, or there's nothing like that. It's purely heroes, which I think is good, and I think, as we've said in the last 6 months, it feels like a great meta and a great patch and great Dota to play and watch. And really, therefore, all that's left to do is shuffle the heroes around, and I think that it's managed to do that with all these multitudes of number changes.
Yeah, there's not too many big reworks. The only ones really is something like Tinker, obviously, Clinks, and then maybe some of the items. Obviously, Helm of the Overlord has seen a lot of action, a lot of discussion, and maybe like Silver Edge. But there have definitely been patches in the past where there's been, 20 heroes that have got a Tinker treatment, if you know what I mean, like loads of reworks, as well as map changes, like you said. And perhaps the map changes will come post-TI, we'll see if Valve does another big patch. But yeah, for the time being, it is just like a hero shuffle, and it still feels like the same kind of slower, a lot of stacking, except it's not so much, your Medusas anymore. Now it's like your Clinks with whatever it's called, Barrage or whatever, just clearing big stacks, and Cottles clearing big stacks and stuff like that, rather than whatever your Deuces and stuff.
In terms of a hero rework, so yeah, I don't think there's been that many, but it's kind of hard to keep track of them all. Was Broodmother these days? Because looking at ESL 1, 134 bans, the most by far, and only 18 picks, and when it's been picked, it's won 72% of the time. So it's got some really strong win rate, immensely high ban rate, but is that pre the A patch or something? Like, I feel like somebody said after the A patch, Brood's been slapped, but is that true? Do you know how
it got slapped in the original patch? Are you saying it? There's no way it's been picked in 7.3.
Did ESL 1 start before the patch?
Yeah, so Broodmother has still been picked at ESL in 7.20,
I had a feeling
but it's just rubbish.
I thought
it's
this tournament has only been on during the new patch.
Well, on the DotA page, I filtered by this week. I don't know if that's wrong of me, but when I do that, Broodmother's got 2 picks and 8 bans, which puts it way low. But when you filter for all time, it's like third with a ton more. So I have a feeling I think it's including qualifiers.
I see.
So I think when you go this week, Broodmother's got the 2 picks, and it's much lower down.
Okay, I'm with you now. Fair enough. I don't mind Brood not being around.
Yeah, I don't mind.
I don't mind it not being around, but it's not a hero.
Yeah, there's always got to be a small selection of heroes which aren't heroes. So
yeah, it's funny.
I don't know if I've never seen a hero be such a non-hero. Like, what a mechanic to put on something. And the only other thing that like Bloodseeker gets to be faster when people are low, right? But I don't feel like the counter of that happening is like fun gameplay or really fair. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's just like,
I don't know what
Brood does. Like, why does the hero 100 move speed when you're low? Like, you're just weird, making yourself dead.
Is that what happens to Brood?
Yeah, she gets slower as her health percentage goes down, and it doesn't just take away the bonus move speed from web, it takes away all of your move speed. So, like, you are the slowest hero in the game. You were basically rooted for all intents and purposes. Like, there's no getting away from anything. If you're a half HP, you're dead.
That's bizarre. I don't think there's ever been a mechanic that is negatively compounding. Like, Huskar gets low, gets stronger. There's a short.
Yeah, it's like you just have to be 100. You have to be 100% health to be able to do anything like a normal hero would. I guess you're supposed to be able to lifesteal a lot and stay high. But if you are 100 move speed, how do you ever catch up with anyone to bite them?
Yeah, I think the only way to play Brood now is like winning a game without actually ever fighting, or just like pure split push tower pressure. But I agree, it's a complete non-hero. Although there are heroes that have been completely uncontested. Brood has been picked or banned 10 times, but perhaps that's people still have a hangover from 7.29. But yeah, talking about dead heroes, I mean, Crimea River as a Meepo player, just hero's been dead for so long.
No, now you can make extra copies. of your hero for people to farm.
Yeah. It's weird. The whole Brood kit goes against Brood losing move speed. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you've got a spell that lifesteals, which almost doesn't synergize with going slower. It just counters how bad going slow is, if you know what I mean. It like makes it a little bit more manageable, this catastrophic weakness. And then you've got unobstructed movement, which is rubbish because you're moving at 100 ms. So it's kind of odd. But yeah, Brood might be dead for a while, because given that they've released 7.23b and they didn't really address that aspect of Brood, perhaps Brood's for the wayside for the time being. Let's go to games then. They did other
things, right? I mean, there was like, she got numbers, so they knew she was weak, but yeah. What's some extra agi if you can't move?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Is it worth going back to Valve inconsistency and questioning why is there not 7.30A? Because that's happened in the past, but in 29 it went to B, 30 it went to B, 28 it went to A, 7 it went to A. What's going on? They've got a new janitor.
Maybe A was all the bug fixes that went unseen.
Maybe. Or maybe Valve just make it up as they go along.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, we looked at the patch, right, and there was, 4 different ways of them...
Yeah. Cooldown.
Typing cooldown, yeah, so...
Yeah. In terms of games then, Adam, let's start with you, if you played the most. Do you have any highlights? Do you have any heroes you've had a lot of fun with, or things you've seen in your games? Anything to report?
I'm still playing Gyro, and it's a lot of fun. All positions.
Nice.
I think I've played it everything but one. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I like the rocket or the missile talent. No, not the talent, but the Ag Shard. And just being a veil carrying support, put out a lot of magic damage, and it makes it hard for people to like do things because they have to run from the rocket. So you don't even care if they Void Spirit or Puck disjoint it. It's like, okay, well now we know they're using their disjoint to get rid of this missile coming at them. So now we can just follow up. And Bounty Hunter is insane. I've won a couple games on that. That hero is... Whoa.
Is that just the toss cooldown? Was there something else?
What cooldown?
Sorry, the toss mana cost.
What do you mean toss? The shuriken toss. Shuriken toss.
Oh, I was just like, what are you, tiny? No. No, I think just the track.
That's tracking improved.
Stuff. So he's just like so fast, and he's so tanky because you get that shard, and he's got 35% damage reduction while he's invis. And then if you just build like a pipe or like a hood, and then have phase boots, you never can get him. And a lot of times you don't even want to come out of invis because you're so tanky while you're invis. So if you're dusted, you're like, whatever. But with the 2 track talents, it's 15, it gives half track bonus move speed to your allies, and then at 20 you get 600 ground vision around the track target, which I threw that on one person in the enemy base when we were sieging, and it was like it was warded. You just see everything. So who needs wards for high ground pushes? You throw out one track and like you see everybody, and you just track like 4 people after that and get Giga Gold.
Yeah, that's the old track, because Bounty Hunter, I feel like, used to be this top tier hero because anything that gives vision is broken in the hands of the best people. So I'm sure it used to give AoE, and then they changed it to no vision on track bar the unit. So now it's in
600 is... It must be 600 radius.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
It's like insane.
I thought you were going to say like 100 radius.
No, it's 600. Oh, 6 says it's like 600. I don't know if that means like diameter or radius, but when we
Probably radio.
When I was playing.
Yeah.
When I was playing, it was huge.
That
And
sounds
once you
crazy.
get one track, you just get a bunch of tracks. And I won with a guy that went at mid, then a ranked game, and the game was all but lost. And then we just started track golding, and all of a sudden it's like the easiest win ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, let me find that ranked game. I played a gyro for, and yeah, my mid has 70 last hits as a bounty hunter, and he has 650 GPM. Just like
in the entire game.
Yeah, 70 last hits, and you just have great carry farm as 650 GPM in 27 minutes.
That's pretty tough.
Yeah, the graph just like goes parabolic. He went Phase Hood, Ags, Kaya Yasha.
Yes, Bounty's a weird one. I feel like the hero should be better in terms of the numbers. So it's 48.5% win rate, so about 49% win rate in Divine Plus this week. The change is negligible. It's minus 0.1%. So basically it's the same hero trend-wise as it was a week ago. Or perhaps ignore that stat because I'm not sure if this goes to before 7.3. And then in pro games, it's unpitched this week at ESL 4. It's uncontested. So, yeah, I don't know. What's the problem with the hero?
Who knows if it's good in pro? It's like you got to get if you're doing the support thing, the really good support talents are at 15 and 20. So are you getting the 15 and 20 as a support? I don't know. But the pub hero, it's awesome. And the shard, in addition to making you tanky while invis and having a lower shadow walk cooldown, when you attack out of it, it's a 1 second stun. So, like, basically you're a Nyx. Great setup for allies. And I think that's where it just comes down to you provide a ton of vision, you get in the back lines, you are the ultimate gank guy, just like pop out of nowhere, and then people think they're okay, and you show up and initiate and track, and then all of a sudden you guys get like 500 gold out of the exchange, and you can like trade 2 for 3 forever if you get track kills out of it. It's like fine.
Yeah, I think the dream bounty game is just being tanky and being really annoying. You know, the hero, in my eyes, doesn't have too much kill threat. It just has steal your gold, be really annoying, and be like stupidly tanky and provide loads of vision. That's the sort of bounty game, and I wonder how it's played across all pubs. I mean, hopefully like that, but it's interesting that the numbers are...
Lotus Orb, and then with the Shard, and I was damage reduction. I like tanked the most damage on the team and had 55% damage reduction. Or like you know how it shows how much you take so much damage, but how much of it was reduced or whatever in the post game.
Yeah.
Like raw damage, and then so it's like I also had the most reduction. So you're just tanking spells, which is very valuable.
Marco, any games you want to report? Any heroes you want to shout out from your experience?
There's a very complicated statistic I got here. There's a hero 100% win rate, and then even more impressively, the previous game was always a loss. So, conclusion, on a losing streak, even just a one-off loss, this hero will guarantee a win, as shown in the last 5 days of Dota 2. Pudge.
So I just gotta add, I am 2-0 on Pudge this week.
Unbelievable.
So,
wow.
I think I might start playing Pudge.
No! Oh, that's gonna make me sad, because I'm gonna have to compete with...
Yeah, I'm looking at
I'm the one with the sick Pudge win rate, though, so really it should be me with first dibs.
Yeah, I'm sub 50.
Yeah, true. I'm looking
66%,
at my
let's go.
last 4 games. It's Pudge, Chin. And the reason why I picked Chin is because Pudge was banned in both those games. Like, I was going to go on a Pudge kick as a support. Like, I just love the hook the big creep, get a fast level 2, type of deal. But yeah, like, I know that we used to, I think when we went through the worst heroes, Pudge was one of my worst heroes, and now I've bumped it up to like 45% win rate. So
nice.
Let's go.
He's going to be playing Invoker next week.
No.
That's a step too far. That's just disrespectful to yourself. To play Invoker.
Pudge Chen, that's Na'Vi TI3.
Yeah, Pudge Chen. We also will, that went win-loss. So Pudge 2-0, Chen 0-2.
Yeah, I can't get a win on Chen as well. I did try, but I couldn't manage it.
Yeah,
Hero's hard, and then you watch pros play, and it looks easier. Just don't understand. So
I think Pudge is good. I mean, Marco always styles on it, but
I'm not a snoozy position for support player like Adam, though. I play Pudge the only way that's meant to be played, which is top net worth.
Yeah, that's the more fun way. I will say, though, I was loading in that Pudge game, and I was like, man, I'm so bad at this hero. I thought I had like a 10% win rate on it. I'm like, I don't know why I'm doing this. And then I, got a kill in top lane. Then I TP middle behind the Radiant trees, hook in the mid. My mid calls me a god. I die up top again. I TP back in middle, hook the guy again. We get another kill. He calls me a god again, and I get tipped. I'm like, this is why people pick this hero.
Yeah.
This is amazing. I've totally destroyed the early game. And then it went 59 minutes, and I was 2-14-28, but we won.
Nice. Hooks win games. Doesn't matter how many deaths you have.
Hooks win games, and now it's just members win games on teammates. Like,
yeah,
that's such a save.
Big, like, there's just like a lot of options with the hero, and there's like so many item builds too. The hero can build everything.
Yeah, it's got a pick at ESL. Didn't win, but it's got a pick. That's better than these 11 heroes that are uncontested. So, anything else to report, Marco, beyond the Pudge, or is that that's the headline, the subtitle and the content?
The funny thing about Pudge is that in the first game, I completely forgot about the change that you one-shot neutral. So, I was just playing it like 7.29 Pudge, and then the second game, I think there were both long ones, 45 plus minutes. Second game I did remember, which was, I guess, useful. And, yeah, not much to report. Blink, Ags, BKB, Shivas, hard.
Ags is so good.
Ags is so much damage. The power spike of an Ags is unbelievable. Not many heroes have such a power spike, I swear. Because it's this constant spell that, like, triples in damage, triples in AoE. People are not ready for it when you hit them with it.
Yeah, people just can't get away. And if you have Hood, and once you get the Flesh Heap points, it does no damage to you. This Rot spell that just giga slows the enemy, and like I don't know, like Pudge just destroying PL with this Ags Rot and stuff like that.
That's fun.
Yeah, hooks and catapults as well.
Yeah, that's very value. That is, because they're a pain to kill if you don't have a tower.
Yeah, for sure. In terms of my games, I'll shout out TA, because the hero's still absolutely nuts, and I had a great TA game. Necro, man. Marco's always trying to get me to play Necro, and then every time I play it, I just feel slow as fuck, and I'm like, I hate this hero.
The MS is, I think the only way is Boots of Travel win list.
Yeah, I think that is the way, Boots of Travel. A lot of green heroes seem to be kind of back a bit. If you look at the win rates, I'm seeing Viper, Venomancer, Necro, like these heroes are at the top now. Underlord.
Why did you play Necro, by the way? Because reading its notes, it's been nerfed. Oh, damage of Death Pulse up at later levels. Okay.
I think I just knew that it had been changed a decent amount, and that it was decent, like in pubs, if you know what I mean, or it's meant to be. But I didn't like it. I don't enjoy Necro.
You were against an OD, which is immediately not fun for a Necro. Also, that OD shard made us very upset because they can like run away while they're in
That was so
uninteractable.
weird. I didn't understand what was going on there.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what's happening here. He just went into the Shadow Realm, but like moved. I was like, is this hacks or something? Like, what's going on? It's also because you don't get the astral animation, so you don't even know. I didn't even realize that anyone had been astraled. Because it's not like you see the astral moving. You see like a ghost of the hero moving. It's so
it's
weird.
not a cylinder that's moving. It's a shadow outline of the hero. So it's you can't even like. There's no visual cue. You know how that ring expands. You have to just go off the sound.
Yeah, it's an odd one. It's a super odd one. But yeah, I agree. I think Boost of Travel on Necro is the way to make it good. And then I had Rubik. I had a fun Rubik game in Unranked where I was just the dream Rubik game in terms of the spells you can steal. So their first two were Viper Lena, so already it's just the dream. You love playing against Lena, you love playing against Viper because you're just guaranteed amazing spells no matter what, pretty much. And then also against a Pango, so I get Rolling Thunder quite easily, unless of course he instantly uses W, which he did sometimes but not always. And against Kunkka as well, so you can get Boat Steel and X marks the spot steal. Anti-Mage was the last hero, so Blink Steel. So that was a lot of fun. I really wanted the Ags, but didn't get
game?
there. Yeah, you were Cowgirl PA.
Oh yeah, the other guy, the Clinks carried us.
Yeah, the Clinks carried us. Yeah. You're against a Viper in lane. Someone had to take it for the team. This Clinks really should have laned against the Viper because it's like the best matchup ever, but it's by the by.
Yeah, I want to shout out Clinks. I played my Chin game last night. So I was 5 Chin, and I go first item, Helm of the Overlord, as one does.
Nice.
And you have your creep army, okay? We also have an Enchantress on our team, and we also have a Beastmaster that went Helm of the Overlord. So we have a zoo. And Clinks just shows up, presses Q, and not only annihilates the entire zoo of creeps, but also all of our heroes. So, enemy Clinks, level 30 in a 43-minute game, 24-1 and 11, 966 GPM, 502 last hits. Very cool hero.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things that's happened since even just last week, is that this Clinks hero is kind of insane now. The Maelstrom rush and just farm like a storm.
He was 4.5k health. Like what? I mean, what do you do? Yeah. We went with the Zoo strat, and then the enemy team had Enigma, Doom, and Clinks, and I was like, this is so frustrating because they have 3 creep eaters, and we have like Zoo strat, so direct counter. But the Clinks, the Q is insane, so good.
Yeah, max burning barrage, rush Maelstrom, Maelstrom pre-treads even. Just get it as soon as possible, and then you're just farming, You can farm a quad stack, a quad large stack, the second you get Maelstrom, and nothing else matters. It's not like...
it's not even like the creeps get to you.
Yeah, they don't touch you. You don't take any damage, and you kill it in basically one barrage and maybe a couple right clicks after. It's insane how fast you kill creeps. And this barrage spell, the cooldown is so low. So what's the cooldown on the spell? It's telling me 16 seconds once it's maxed. That's like nothing. You could use it on a creep wave, come back, use it on a camp, kill one other camp, and then you've got it back for the next one. It's kind of insane. Even quicker than that if you've got pig pole and you're just pigging from camp to camp easily. I thought I was being a god. So far my record with pig pole is, as discussed last week, getting to the next camp too quickly so that it didn't spawn. And then my second use of pig pole was going from camp to camp with pig pole, but the camps were too close to each other. So I was sitting looking at creeps where I still had like 3 seconds of duration as a pig. Like, wow, this has just slowed down my farming so much. So I need to get my act together a little bit on the pig pole.
Did you see the clip on Reddit today?
That was so funny. I love that.
Yeah, that's exactly how the poll should be used.
Yeah, that was so funny.
This Clinks in this game when Treads, Gleipnir, Deso, Daedalus, Lincoln, Satanic. Also had Ags and Shard Eaton. But Gleipnir holds people in place. Deso crit for the damage, and then since it's a channel, if you have Lincolns, you can't interrupt him like using that ability. So it's just kind of free.
Yes.
Did he get 3 damage items in a row before Lincoln's?
Gleipnir, Deso, crit, then Lincoln's, yeah.
I feel like you shouldn't be allowed to do that.
Yeah,
you're so far ahead of the
think
game. You just clinks him out. You clonks.
The thing is he has like a 3.5k HP, so
and his invis. I mean that's invincibility.
How do you have that much HP though?
What
is it? Where's that
eats
HP
the creep
from?
Death pack.
Can you? And is that just a neutral? Is that an ancient?
He can't eat ancients.
Yeah, it's off a neutral. He can get that much HP.
He's got Gleipnir.
Yeah,
that's quite a lot of strength. Actually, it's like 15.
And then there's a
strength
25 talent for even more damage and health from the creep.
Yeah.
Gleipnir is such a nice item on Clinks. Like when you think about it, you're rushing Maelstrom, so you already have that. There's a slot being dedicated to Maelstrom. That's just set in stone. And then you now have this super buffed Gleipnir that not only does it keep people in place with the root, which Clinks loves, that's Clink's dream, it also is giving you 14 agility, 14 strength. It's so strong.
And dealing damage.
Yeah, and it doesn't, and slot efficiency, it just goes into the same slot as the Maelstrom. It's really nice, actually.
And you don't need Molyneux because the Q, like, that's how you're doing the damage. It's not like you need attack speed on its own, so it's like super slot efficient, and also just the better option of the 2 items for the hero.
Yeah, for sure. Rip Molyneux, I mean, that's kind of a dead item, I feel like. Not many people get that unless you're against an illusion hero, I think.
It's like maybe a Jug buys it, I don't know.
Yeah,
but not like way later.
Yeah. Just purely going off the numbers, combined, or basically contested heroes at ESL 4, I don't know if any of you are on this page, and if you want to hazard a guess if you haven't seen it already.
I've seen it.
Oh, you've seen it. Okay, Adam gets to have a stab then.
Oh, guess like the most popular hero?
Yeah, I'll just like any in the top 5. That'll be impressive. Picks plus
bans.
bans, yeah.
Is Luna still there?
No, Luna's gone.
She's back. I don't know, Luna's been destroyed in game still. So. Why is she done?
Why?
Yeah, why is she bad?
Shard.
They just reduced the glaives are like kind of shitty now, aren't they?
Glaives are worse. Lucent cooldown is worse. Talents seem worse.
Yeah, I don't know what Pro would pick. I'm like looking at the hero list. Nothing's jumping out at me. That's like, does it mean Monkey King? I've heard rumblings about.
Where are we?
Like, I don't know of any supports that really like stick out.
So the most contested here is Kotl.
Oh, okay.
Is it? I think it's just when in doubt, when you don't know what the patch is, stack and Kotl's
stack
strong.
And then the mid meme. I did see that game
I
with
saw
9.
That,
yeah.
I heard about it, but I haven't watched it.
That was pretty
crazy.
cool. That was really cool.
With 5 Pango mid Kotl.
Yeah, farming small camps. It was something like by 8 minutes he'd farmed like 6 small camps or something. I don't know if that's like borderline impossible, but he basically was farming he was farming the enemy mids and his small camp every minute for ages. You know, as soon as he had level 3 Illuminate, it just kills them.
Yeah,
so
he had like 80 CS at like 7 minutes or something.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous, yeah. Just small camp kills. That was it. It was just laning mid and then small camp.
And then he just solar binds, and he had level 5 Dagon, right?
Yeah. That was a fun time.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm interested to see that Pango is so highly contested, because I'm not even sure, certainly when we first looked at the changes, nothing jumped out too much. Obviously he got buffs. Shield Crash slows enemies. I don't know, I thought great, but I guess a 40% slow for 3 seconds, especially when you're in Rolling Thunder, is perhaps stronger than we'd first thought. And then the damage reduction is increased. I don't think that matters too much. And the cooldown is 2 seconds lower at all levels. And now you've got crazy, you've got armor reduction by 1. So on Lucky Shot there. So maybe this shield crash slow was just strong enough to carry the hero.
Because they moved no more Lucky Shot slow, and they moved it to shield crash. So, but then they buffed the minus armor.
Yeah.
To compensate. I don't know. It's like completely different hero when like the people are picking at 5 and maxing shield crash.
Yes.
Yeah, like level 5 being 131 value points in the other two, and you just like walk in with a like Orb of Venom, hit a W, which is like very easy to hit, and then they're super slow, and you just whack them and slow them even more. I mean, level 1, a 25% slow for 3 seconds and 90 damage in an AoE. It scales really nice. I mean, it's like 300 damage max.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. On the 5,
and it makes your
really nice.
follow-up roll like really easy to hit if they're super slow.
Yeah. It's just dreamy for the 5 because in the lane you have obviously this shield crash and swashbuckle, which is very nice for sort of trading, moving around, mobility, funky stuff like that, creep manipulation, just having that Q spell helps. And then mid-game you've got Rolling Thunder, and now you've got shield crash slow on Rolling Thunder, so you're just having high impact on a 5, right? And then late game, swashbuckle, you don't need to be a right clicker because it just disarms people with Lucky Shot. And
imagine being a Lucky Shot by a 5 Pango.
Yeah.
And that's how you lose as a carry. It's just like, I get disarmed by their 5.
Yeah. 5 seconds. 5-second disarm on Lucky Shot. What? It's kind of bonkers.
It's tilted.
So long. Built-in halberd.
Yeah, you go like the shield crash in ball, I guess. 2.5 second. You just bounce all over the place.
Mm.
The mana cost on shield crash is phenomenally low. 60, 70, 80, 90. So it's actually pretty cool to see this pivot to a 5 just with this re-emphasis on shield crash now, because that is so low. I mean, it is an agi hero, but that's a low mana cost spell. And then if you think, why would this not work before? You don't have the damage reduction, so you can't really right-click someone without them being scared of you. But now, tanky little damage reduction, and it's just spammable. It's seems pretty strong, really.
I can't believe the slow scales. It starts at 25 and it goes up to 40. Like 40, that's a huge slope.
Yeah, and like you say, with an Orb of Venom, you're basically disabled.
Yeah, and also, even when you build the hero as a 3 in the past, you don't really get tanky items anyway. You really want something like Maelstrom or Blink. Sometimes you see them go down the Greaves route with a Lotus perhaps, but even then it's not like you're building any big HP items. So you're not exactly that much less tanky in the ball when you play as a 5. You're not missing out too much versus a Blink, Yules, Maelstrom, Pango, do you know what I mean? So
this is I'm gonna have to try it. It seems fun. Like just imagine at a level 1 rune fight, you shield crash 3 people, 45% damage reduction, and you just keep attacking. Or just in the lane, 30% damage reduction, because you hit both, and you just keep right-clicking. And no one respects damage reduction, so they just think, oh, we can kill this guy. And then you just keep right-clicking.
You'll win a right-click war. God, the Rolling Thunder duration, I thought, maybe there's a chance that scales, but it's not. It's a flat 10 seconds every level, and then 13 with talent. So even your POS 5, again, you don't need XP, you just need level 6, and your ultimate is maxed out in terms of effectiveness. A 10-second duration, disruption, stunning. Like, you literally just need to get level 6 and then you're done.
Yeah, it's another one of those high-impact ult 5s.
Yeah, like very
Phoenix.
high.
Yeah. A word on...
Also, before we leave Kotl, I did not realise that slow spell did magic reduction.
Yeah.
Magic resist. I had no idea. I thought that was just a slow.
I didn't know that. What does it do? It does magic.
That's why the Dagon 5 was so good because it gives 30% magic resist reduction. It's like an ethereal kind of.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, has there been a rework of Kotl that he now has this magic resistance reduction spell? I was reading this changelog like, no, it's only Illuminate that's changed. And then I went on the hero and it's in that slow, I think it's Solar Bind, is it? The one that slows you as you move? That actually gives magic resistance reduction? No idea.
That is interesting. I didn't know that either, to be honest. I thought it was just a good old-fashioned slow, but...
Yeah, because...
Yeah, it's like slow. He would like slow, or maybe he would start channeling his Q, slow them, Dagon them, hit them with the Illuminate, and then Chakra Magic re-illuminate. Because you only have to channel for 3 seconds to get max damage.
Yeah.
So he was like double illuminating when they're 30% less magic resist on top of Dagon 5. And his max damage illuminate is 525. So.
Yeah, I feel like there aren't many heroes whose abilities would really help them survive.
Yeah.
And then you need items if you want to kind of force staff away or Yules or something like this, or...
But then he's also got, because you're solar bound, so you're really slow, and if you happen to get out of the way, he can just bounce you back in with the blinding light, which also does damage. It's like 200 damage.
That does damage? Fucking hell.
So like, he just bounces somebody else back in, and then they take the last one. He obviously has played it a lot, because it looked really good. Like, he wasn't really missing a lot of the combos. There's another one, like, mid-wyvern type of things that he's developed. But it's nice because you go mid, right? And Coddle's, all this damage is coming from spells. So he's farming like crazy, but all the damage is coming from levels. And you just put all the gold in the damage. Like, you just put all the gold into Dagon 5.
I do love an Intel mid-hero that's unconventional. I do have a lot of respect for that. None of these kind of, I'm going to play a carry from the mid and just hard farm, fucking TA snoozers. Get a spellcaster, press some buttons.
Tinker.
That's too fucking far, mate.
It really can't be understated how big of a buff this is. To get the full channel at 3 seconds rather than 4.1, that's huge. I remember seeing a video of that 9 game, I think it was BSJ analysis or something, and just saying, especially with Chakra Magic, when you can redo your Illuminate, when you arrive into a mid-game fight, you do it, obviously your ult form, Illuminate, run in, and like that second is so huge for the fight to have not moved somewhere else or for the hero to evade, and that obviously compounds if you're using it multiple times in one fight. Like, that's so many seconds that you're getting back, and the amount of damage that this spell does when you're an over-leveled Keeper of the Light. Think about how much damage a Kotl does when it's +5, and you're trying to push into their enemy safe lane tower, and you eat like a level 3 Illuminate at 10 minutes. To the enemy Kotl that's level 5 or whatever. Now think about eating a level 4 Illuminate at like 8 minutes. It's just, and eating like 2 of them in a fight because now he's got level 6, so he's flying around doing multiple in one go. Like, the amount of damage output that's possible from this spell in the early mid game when you hit level 7 is actually redonk. And it's definitely a fun one because you can also stack for yourself and farm like 1 million stacks with Illuminate as well. So I think it's a fun one. It's a fun one if you can stay alive, I think.
Yeah.
As is always going to be the way with some of these. Kotl is paper, so I want to be a little bit careful of that. Any other heroes we want to shout out? I was going to talk about Zoo, actually, so let's do that for a bit. Helm of the Overlords, kind of the defining item of 7.30 so far. They did nerf it a bit in 7.30B. The recipe cost is 250 more. Probably not enough to see the item fall away too much, though. Your heroes like Beastmaster and Lycan are loving it. These Zoo heroes. And it's interesting to me that Lycan is basically a 3, it seems like, from what I've seen at least. Very zooey offlaners that nuke the enemy tower very quickly as soon as someone moves away. Do you think that's because the item Helm of the Overlord is really good, or because everyone's stacking and farming that, like, having tower push on your pos 3 is actually just super OP and you can collapse the map easier and turn it into a win? 'Cause I'm not seeing many high ground pushes with Zoo, but I am seeing a lot of tier 1 pushes with Zoo and then, like, collapsing in and stuff. I don't know what your guys' observation is on the Zoo meta so far.
Yeah, I like that point about collapsing on the outer towers, because to win any game, ultimately take all the outer towers, choke the map, build a sufficient lead, get Rosh, then high ground. So if you just get into that point of winning on objectives sooner because you've taken the outer towers faster, I mean, sounds like a recipe for success.
Yeah, especially in this meta where I think all of the prominent carries, your Sven, Klinks, your RIP Luna Deuces, that those are the kind of carries that we're seeing a lot of stacking and farming. So in order to contest that, the earlier you get the tier 1, the better.
Yeah,
and a lot of these pos 3s are really nuking towers, like very heavy tower damage.
In a meta that's so far, well, it's not so farm orientated, but it is a longer, more late game meta, it feels, or has felt. If you've got an item which increases your tempo 5 to 10 minutes, you're gonna cut them off before they get to the power spike. But also another way I think about this item is it's active. I mean, that's improved, but the active of getting some big ancient creep and making it a bit buffed, that's not changed. So to me, it's like it's gone from this for no extra cost. I've now got Vlad's. Like this is the way my basic brain is looking at it. HO Helm of Dawn 2 towards Helm of Overlord, no more expensive, doesn't do anything different. Oh, but now there's a Vlad's involved for no extra price.
Yeah, you've just lost stats which you don't care about.
Yeah, like, instead of making you a little bit tankier from the stats,
I can't even remember what it used to be. Like it was
a orb, ultimate
yeah.
orb. So it was like useless
the
10
most redundant.
Stats.
Yeah. So it's just in terms of just £2,000 increase value for no extra cost. I think fundamentally that's pretty value.
Give me the Vlads. Give me the damage aura and the lifesteal aura for my creep army. Also, you could dominate 2 creeps, but now it's just 1. Okay, let me get the really I'd rather have 1 big buff creep than 2, mid-lane ones. Like, give me this creep with 80 bonus damage that also gets buffed by Vlads.
Honestly, as a POS 1, I love a Vlad's, and I've loved it for many, many years, and if anyone ever picked it up, I'd be so happy. That damage percent and lifesteal, then even the mana regen for some aspect irrelevant. 3 armor as well. This
is a man that tries to squeeze Vlad's into his AM build. This is someone that likes Vlad's.
Honestly, really like Vlad's, and it's not been around in recent times. So, yeah, I highly value Vlad's when it's in its kind of original form. I know it's been messed around a little bit.
Yeah. It's funny we talk about the meta. It's not even so much that I think it's a farming meta. I wouldn't even necessarily say that it is. It's just that farming is a viable way to win. Do you know what I mean? And obviously that's always the case in Dota, but at the moment it really feels like you can stack for yourself, and if you defend that and defend your triangle and defend your farming area, that's like a very clean-cut way to win, almost like the ticking time bomb of having some hard farm hero that isn't necessarily like a Spectre PL, although those do see some play, but like ones that farm and then explode into like the mid game, or explode into like the late mid game, if you want to put it like that. And so like obviously the way you play, a good way to play against that is these heroes. At least that's my 4K observation of the pro games that I've seen. Zoo seems pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, it's just like some lineups just can't deal with that amount of creep HP coming at them.
Mm.
That's what I hate the most, is when you're faced with a zoo that your team's hero kit, even if everyone was suddenly really good at the game, just feel shit and helpless.
Yeah, so what are you going to do with a granite golem? Like, it's giving bonus HP to everything. How do we clear it?
Yeah, and they've got like
also
three...
is magic resistant.
And if they've got like all these strength heroes, like your Beastmasters or Lycans, are like, pushing you down with loads of units, and then you've got, I don't know, like kind of loads of spellcasters or just low damage output from your spells, and you're reliant on like one hero to go to 50 minutes to carry it. It's like, oh, well, this doesn't seem feasible.
Yeah, also an interesting one on the new Helm of the Overlord. We mentioned buffed units. I've been really interested to see, mostly on Lycan, but also on Beast as well. A lot of people are really willing to part ways with their units in a way that I wasn't expecting. And when I say part way, I don't necessarily mean have them die. But for example, a Lycan that's pushing the enemy safe lane tower, there's some hero de-pushing, say a Rubik. They'll just throw out walls and just sort of A-click, almost like dive the Rubik under tower with the walls. Not with the hero, but with the walls. Who will both die, but it will chip the Rubik down. And it almost, to me, goes to show how important this tower is, that they're willing to feed golden XP to a Rubik to like whittle them down over the course of 2 or 3 lanes. And then, if anyone TPs or if a kill presents itself, or this chip damage compounds to a point where you're within striking distance of a kill, then you'll see the ult come out on the Lycan, or the Roar come out on the Beastmaster. But this new Helm of the Overlord, I think, plays into that nicely, because you've got this really tanky unit. And I've seen Beastmasters pick up Helm of the Overlord, grab their Ancient or whatever it is that they want to go with, and then just almost A-click it, like dive towers with it, because it's tanky enough, and just that and like a boar, and then Beastmaster will join if their units sort of do the work for him. So it's quite cool to have this one tankier unit rather than the 2 lesser tankier ones. I think it's definitely feels nicer, I think.
Do they get HP buff, these dominated creeps?
They've got a minimum HP, haven't they?
It's a minimum. Is that still kind of 1,000 or something?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know the exact figure, but yeah, they've got some min HP, yeah.
Yeah, that is an interesting way of using the creep, and that definitely sounds like mega space creation. If you're a support that has to waste 30 seconds fanning around with some fucking massive neutral chopping at your arse, that is actually so much wasted time.
It's also good info, like vision info and stuff like that. It's just nice.
Yeah, that sounds really useful.
Pros are so good at using their units now. It's like, you see Enigmas flying Eidolons around for vision, and people using Lycan Wolves really well, and it's just like, people are a bit too good, I think. You need to chill out and like get a bit worse at the game, give everyone else a chance. Yeah.
Need to remove abilities from creeps.
Yeah, just come on. Let's chill out here.
Let's remove a couple button presses from the game, please, instead of adding buttons.
Yeah. Speaking of not pressing buttons, Warlock, uncontested at ESL full. Speaking of pressing buttons, Meepo, uncontested at ESL full. Any of these heroes surprise you? So obviously Dawnbreaker's uncontested for obvious reasons, not in Captain's mode, but Arc Warden, Bounty Hunter, Centaur, Dazzle Huskar, Techie, Shadow Fiend, Warlock, Necro, Meepo, Jakiro, Zeus. So those are the unloved heroes, according to the pros. I'm surprised
Jakiro's got to be good.
Jakiro?
I guess I think that hero's good in theory. I'm sure it's not as, probably just doesn't do enough compared to another support that fills his role.
Stones.
But, Ice Path is nice, and Macropyre is good deep push.
They almost halved the cast point on Dual Breath. 0.55 to 0.35. You think that'd be a big change.
I just like the big twin-headed dragon. Tanky.
Yeah.
Dual Breath, very good in the lane. And then you could have inevitability with the Liquid Fire push, and that Liquid Ice is good too. Liquid Frost or whatever it is.
Yeah. I think Jakiro is a absolutely fine pub hero.
Yeah.
I'll let the pros worry about the weaknesses.
Yeah, I don't
of the
think it's
heroes
bad
there.
by any means.
It's actually very good in pros. In pub, sorry, it's 52.5% win rate, so that's near the top. You know, there's not many supports that boast a better win rate than that. It's actually really interesting to see such a discrepancy. To be uncontested in a pro tournament and yet be 53% win rate pubs. That's like Lycan territory. But except Lycan's actually good in the pros at the moment. So,
fun fact: first ever hero I ever played on Dota 1, Jakiro.
Didn't you play against Shadow Shaman or something? Haven't you told us
Played
the
against
story?
Shadow Shaman. Yeah. 1v1 mid.
Nice. I can't remember. Oh, what's my first hero that you've ever played? I've told this story before.
I hope it's not Lich, because I feel like you
No.
played a lot of Lich in your
I
first
did.
100.
That was a huge error. No offense.
Well,
but
mistake.
that was a big error. But no, the first hero I played is before I actually played Dota, if you know what I mean. Like, not when I played it in
Tied?
a one-off.
Was it tied?
Yes, it was tied. Yeah, you were in the
Nice.
game. You got me on like the rundown potato PC. Got me on a tide.
Like, press Ravage when
When we
shouted.
say yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was good.
That's funny.
Good
But yeah,
times.
Jakiro, great pub, but I imagine all these pro teams, like all the drafts, you'd like to think that every draft they run, they've played a strong variation of it before. Like, they have such solid ideas in mind, and I feel like the Jakiro pick doesn't ever. Well, yeah, I'm not surprised that it doesn't fall into teams' idea of a draft they want to run.
Yeah.
So
It's interesting that SF doesn't make it. I feel like the buffs, I thought they might be a little bit more stronger, I suppose, and some pro teams would try it. You know, a lot of mid heroes want to play SF just as like a flex.
Yeah.
They're like, give me SF, like, game's mine.
Miracle's not in the tournament, so
True.
there's no one to like style with it.
That's very true, yeah. But to be fair, I suppose they didn't really change that much, did it? They gave it a shard, and it's like, yeah, it's 1.4k, and it's at 20 minutes. Like,
Yeah, it gave
is
it like
even that good?
5 more attack speed on a talent,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
Adam played a good SF. Did you remember to use Necromastery?
I didn't get it.
Oh, it's a shard. Ah, okay.
Yeah, we ended the game too fast.
Yeah.
I think I had
That's good.
Deso AC, and then we just cleared all the buildings.
Yeah, that was a fun game. Marco, you mentioned in the previous episode that the sort of defensive way to play the game is maybe fallen away a bit, other than the Omni Knight. Well, the Omni Knight is a 55% win rate, or a 54.5% win rate. It's actually the second most winningest hero in pubs, and it's even better in Divine Plus, almost 56% win rate.
What pick?
In Divine Plus or overall? Divine Plus is 9% pick rate, so that is... It's scaling upwards both in pick and win rate, so 9% pick rate, 56% win rate. So, in fact, the most successful hero in Divine Plus, as far as I can see, is the Omni Knight. And it's funny because a lot of the changes, well, the ones we were talking about, were to the Hammer of Purity or whatever it's called, where you now can't man up against Omni. But it's interesting to see the Omni's so strong. I feel like it's hard to make it work in pubs, but evidently not for the Omni players in Divine Plus.
Is it because there's more strength heroes that the Omni is synergizing with, or is it this kind of push, group and push synergy that it's vibing with? Because I don't think it's the hero. It has to be other factors, like the heroes it's playing with.
Yeah.
'Cause that sounds like really good stats for win rate.
Yeah, I mean, the bonus strength on Grace went up, the Guardian Angel cooldown went down. Those are changes outside of the Hammer of Purity. But I mean, GA cooldown went down 20 seconds. That's quite nice. I mean, I don't know if it warrants such a big jump in in win rate. I mean, like you said, when you see Omni Knight go up in win rate like this, you immediately think, oh well, just by nature of the hero's kit, it must be because of what else is doing well.
Like this Sven, is it? I mean, Sven, Lycan, Beastmaster. Yeah. I mean, Sven's pick rate 17, win rate 55.5 in Divine Plus. That's a big one.
Yeah, Sven's huge.
Wow, win rate's just been rocketing up this last week. Has Sven even changed that much? So, I mean, I feel like I can see a lot of these strength hero synergies, and Omni Knight is a natural one with it.
Yeah. Sven's a weird one, I agree with you, yeah.
Sven's cleave has improved. Is that right?
I've lost to it quite a bit.
Slightly. Okay. Stormhammer, cast point down.
It's funny because I don't understand. It doesn't... I would have been kind of surprised that Sven's been doing so well. But I've been seeing these videos of people, the new carry of 7.30, and it's like, is it new? What's changed? It's just the same Sven. I don't know why it's so much better now. Is it just because Luna and Medusa are dumpstered a bit?
I think so.
I think you're right.
Clean things up.
Yeah. Emerge from the dust of the carry pool, perhaps.
Yeah, that cleave is very good. And we're back to the blink, I think.
Interesting.
Not so much the Ags, it's like back to the blink build.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, this Sven. I mean, the damage, God Strength, with a crit or just any damage item, I've always felt is absolutely crazy. There's few heroes that just munch someone like a Sven does. In your own stun duration, you just two-shot a hero. There's not many people that... not many heroes that can do that. Anything else we want to touch on here before we wrap things up? Any other trends or heroes, or indeed your own gains? Anything on your list?
I love the Wind Ranger Gale Force thing.
Yeah,
the global gust of wind is very fun to play with.
It doesn't seem bad. It seems kind of good.
It's really good to since it's global. If someone's chasing somebody and you're just like, no, here's a gust of wind.
Yeah. Podge, top of the pick rates. Some things never change.
Yeah, Pudge is the only hero I'm interested in playing these days.
Podge is the only hero on your list.
Yeah. Oh, I had a dark Ricky loss with Adam. 25 kills, 6 deaths. Red gaming.
Yikes.
Yeah,
Ricky losses hurt.
Was that... Who was I?
You were Vino Mancer.
Yeah, that Mage Slayer Vanomancer. Very cool. That was where our random 5th mid got mad and abandoned the game.
Yeah,
didn't abandon, just DC'd for 5 minutes because he was sad.
Oh, that guy was like the most brittle person I've ever met in my life. I think I said F off when I'm 25-6 Ricky doing bits, and he flames me for not pushing and instead getting like 4 kills. Literally, I think I might have. Well, there was a fight that I TP'd to and like on the other side of the map. I think I literally cleaned up the entire team, 4 kills or something. And then he's in chat like, why weren't you pushing? Oh, this was because he died and he got caught out. And 20 seconds earlier on voice comms, I said, everything's fine as long as Zeus doesn't die on the other side of the map on his own, which is what happened.
Yeah.
So, I mean, F this guy. So he starts flaming, well, he doesn't flame me, but he has a dig at me, and I'm like, how dare you have a dig at me? Tell him to F off. And then he fucking abandons. Well, DCs. So I'm not taking blame on that. I flamed much harder. Like, that's not even a flame. That's like...
I don't even think you typed it out. I think you said F off.
Yeah,
that.
Just literally
like
F.
The
not even
F.
It's not even aggressive.
And he just DC'd. Yeah.
Anyway, so that was kind of an interesting loss. Kind of the only way Ricky losses can happen is like getting too far ahead and then the like elastic band just goes all wrong. Yeah, honestly. Yeah. Such a classic loss.
I had an Underlord loss. That always a painful one. And I had a Centaur win, which I think just continues the trend of the baton being passed from Underlord to Centaur to being my best friend that gets me wins for free. Underlord's definitely not retired, but Centaur's the guy. Centaur's the go-to guy now. When I go into ranked and I'm like, oh god, I feel out of my depth. Let's just get a win. It's just I just casually pick Centaur. Just don't worry about it. I had 2 absolutely free wins as well. TA and Sven, just AFK wins. That was good times. It's always a good feeling on TA when you just kind of lose mid or mid goes even and then you see your team skirmish on the other side of the map where you farm a quad ancient stack and you come out level 20 at 18 minutes and you're just yo, what's up?
We had one where you were like that. I think, what was it? It was level 18. I feel like it was before 20 or something. It was actually ridiculous. 5 levels ahead of everyone in the game.
Yeah. That was a crazy
one. Kind of, I think, even to win those games, it almost feels empty. To lose them feels empty.
Yeah.
To win them, it's also so TA is 5 levels ahead of everyone. Okay, then.
Yeah, I had level 18 at 17 minutes. So that's Meepo territory right there.
Yeah.
Meepo, it was are you the level that the minute is, then you're having a great game. And this is fucking TA. That was the Ron Mexico Tinker. Unplayable.
Oh, that was unplayable. POS 5 Tinker.
Yeah. Solved the game.
God, yeah. That was actually, so you guys say you've not seen Tinker anymore, but in that game, you got the, had 40k hero damage just from POS 5 casting rockets and lasers.
Yeah.
It was impressive. I'm sure it was the second most hero damage.
Yeah. Easy times.
That's quite cool.
Pew pew pew.
Yeah, indeed. Well, there you go. We've got Pudges to play, and I've got Tinkers to play. So yet to grief Marco and Adam with a Tinker performance. That's coming up soon. I've been practicing in versus bots. Adam caught me red-handed practicing Tinker versus bots yesterday. Yeah, so there you go.
I said stop. Stop this instant.
And I did stop, and then we played an actual game of DotA. So that's a success story. Join us again in a week's time, where we'll probably look at something in a bit more detail, and a week more of 7.30 to discuss. Until then, have a final whistle and happy dotes.